This is Spirit Spotlight.
Bethune cuts in. Bethune now finds Rodman. Flag stays down. Rodman off the post and in. The first shot of the game produces the first goal of the game, and the Spirit go on top.
Your official Washington Spirit source for exclusive interviews, official postgame show, and all things Spirit throughout the season. Here's Bram Weinstein.
It's Friday. We are a day ahead of the final match before the Olympic break for the Spirit. They're going to take on Bay FC on the West Coast, an expansion team. So they have some opportunities here to grab a few more points before everybody takes a break in the league. Last couple of weeks, Andy Sullivan has been in and out of the lineup, which has given a young player, Paige Metayer, a lot of opportunities here to show what she's got. And earlier this week, I had a chance to catch up with the Spirit midfielder. Here with Paige Metayer, who is from Southern California. You go back to Northern California this week, because it's not, I have family in Southern California. No one's going to call that home, but it must feel closer to home for you this weekend.
Yeah, definitely closer to home. And also I spent 4 years at UC Berkeley, which is right there in the Bay Area. So a little bit of home this week.
Yeah. Anybody coming up to see you? To see you against Bay FC?
Yeah, my mom's flying in actually, but I also have like my old coaches and some teammates that are still in the area.
All right, so that's cool. So this is a fun reunion of sorts for you, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of familiar faces.
All right, cool. Why don't we talk about your story a little bit? I mean, so much of this season has been made of all these new rookies that came in. You were this a year ago, but you went undrafted and impressed and got a multi-year contract. Can you kind of take me through what your story was a year ago coming to the Spirit?
Yeah, a year ago I was invited into preseason of the Spirit, so I wasn't drafted, as you said, and then from there just kind of earned my way first into a spot and then into the starting lineup for most of the season, which was honestly a big shock to myself, but ended up working out really well, and I'm really grateful for that year.
Why was it a shock to you?
Well, I think anytime when you go undrafted, like that's not your priority, or you're just kind of there to make a roster spot first of all, and then whatever you get more than that like is always just a welcome surprise. So obviously I had enough confidence to know that I could end up there, but it was just ended up working out really well for me.
And then once you were training with the team, though, did that kind of change your mind about what your role could be with the team?
Yeah, I think during preseason it kind of got up to that point. I had a few conversations with our head coach, and he was like, "Are you ready for this? Like, do you think this could be a possibility?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. Like, whatever you need." So,
all right, and so it's worked out. And you were Rookie of the Month, right? Once last year, so it all went even better than I guess you expected it would.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of surprises in the season, but it was a great season. I'm really grateful for it.
Okay, so turn around to 2024, coaching staff changes. A lot of rookies are brought in. A lot of young players are here. How were you kind of thinking about this season as you entered this year?
Yeah, obviously we knew that there was going to be a coaching staff change going into the off season, and I spent a lot of time in Virginia working with some of our remaining staff during that period. I knew that there was going to be a lot of change in the style of play, and that I would have to learn a lot of new things, and obviously some great players coming in. So really an open mind. I knew that what I had the first year was great, and I had a lot of experience that I could build off of, but going into the second year that there was still so much room for growth and so much to learn.
And did you feel like this urge to reprove yourself again? How did you kind of think that through after surprising yourself, earning this spot, playing a lot? Everything changes around you. So how are you kind of thinking through that?
Yeah, I think it just seemed like a whole new year. Like it honestly seemed with a new coaching staff, new style of play, different players, that it was kind of a fresh start and everything started again. Obviously, having minutes under your belt is a great thing to have going into a season, but there was still, as I said before, like so much to learn and so many new tasks at hand.
Okay, so how are you thinking through opportunities now? Obviously, you got a lot of time on the field last year, and this year's a little bit different for you. So how are you thinking through that?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a different position to be in. I think anytime starting a game and getting subbed in is very different. There are different roles. There are different things that you have to provide your team with. And I think that was a big adjustment for me, just in the terms of how it feels starting game versus coming off the bench. Just it's a different way to see the game. And I think it took a few games, but I got adjusted to that. And now just being there whenever my teammates might need it, I think just being able to do both is really valuable. So I'm really glad I got to learn what that takes. And yeah, now this year it's just filling in when need be. And I'm really proud of Hal and Andy. They're obviously great players to play with and against, and I think we really support each other. They've been amazing this year, so it's just been a great situation.
I think it's really been interesting. I mean, you're kind of talking about chemistry a little bit here, and here's this new coach, and they made some trades. There's a lot of young players, but it does feel like this team has a lot of chemistry. Does that surprise you at all that that's occurred that way?
Yeah, I think we talk about it a lot just as players, how different the rookie class, like we don't even like to use the term rookies anymore because it's just felt like off the bat that we've all been family, we've all had the same experiences, I think, or at least I hope that the rookies would feel that way too, that it's just been a really supportive place. And yeah, it doesn't matter how many years you've been on the field or on the team, like it doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, it's interesting how the success, obviously, of the season kind of bears out what's been happening here, but the rookies on this team have had massive impacts. What's your kind of viewpoint of them coming in here and not just playing well, but playing at the level that they're playing?
Yeah, they're phenomenal. I mean, obviously, being a rookie just a year ago, like, it's a tough position to be in, just a different environment, probably not near your home or near your family, and to be able to take that in stride and just show how great of players they are, honestly, kudos to them. Like, it's been amazing to see.
All right, so this weekend's the last game before the break for the Olympics. You guys are coming off a loss, which has been a while for the Spirit. So how did you guys take in what happened over the weekend against North Carolina as you move towards Bay FC this weekend?
Yeah, obviously, after any loss or any win, you really just want to see what you can learn from the game and what areas you can grow in, and I think we've already started that process. We've already gone over a few things that we can change about last game, but also it's really important to look about how last game can shape going into our next game. So how, I guess, Bay and North Carolina, what similarities between the two teams that we can learn from North Carolina and apply to the Bay.
Okay, so what do you think about this match this weekend? What's a key for the Spirit as you take on Bay FC this weekend?
Yeah, I think a lot of our keys lately has been patient in the build-out, and the way our sixes play is like a big it's a big attribute to our team, and I think we've been focusing a lot on that, just how we're going to play out, how we're going to recognize what pressure and what shape they're giving us.
All right, last thing, let's start. You came from the West Coast, you live on the East Coast. You an East Coaster now? You love being in D.C.? Miss California at all?
I don't know about the weather here lately. It's been really hot, but yeah, I'm excited to be home for next weekend and obviously going into the CBA break. But East Coast is not too bad.
No, not too bad. My wife's from Pasadena, so I had to transition her to an East Coaster too.
Yeah, no, it's a transition, but it's a nice one.
Paige, thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Paige Metayer. The match this weekend against Bay FC, there's a chance to get some more points. The good news for Washington is this. Kansas City and Orlando, who they're chasing in the table, are playing each other.
Yes.
Neither one of these teams have lost yet. It actually would be great if one of them did, because they're both 4 points ahead of them. So if Washington conceivably could get 3 points out there, they would then be literally 1 point back of somebody in the table heading into this break. So I think that I guess a draw is fine between the two of them.
Sure.
But a loss, I think, would be helpful just to kind of position them to potentially overtake somebody when we return.
I think we're in a situation here where you'd like to just see someone grab that 1 seed, so you know you're chasing for the 2 seed from here on out, barring some kind of catastrophic breakdown. But I think the worst part about the last month or so for the Spirit has been they're not chasing one team, they're chasing 2 teams that just won't stop winning. So I would like to see them actually have a target that they can chase, whether that's Kansas City or Orlando. Not sure if you saw today, too, Kansas City is also going to get the NWSL championship because Kansas City has the only NWSL stadium, so they were awarded the championship earlier today as well, or earlier this week.
So I'll be looking forward to going there when play for the championship.
Exactly.
Bay FC is actually 8th in the table. They're an expansion team. They're minus in the goal differential, but this is a big deal for them, too. They're just a couple points up on Racing Louisville. So in their first season, there's a possibility they can make it. So this is a big match for them as they head into the Olympic break as well. As for Washington, I hope Andy Sullivan's back. No offense to Paige Metayer. I think we've seen the last few weeks what impact she has on this roster. So hopefully she could gut one out and then gets a month off because she's not heading to Paris.
The old glue player is who Andy Sullivan really is. That's what we've realized with her being out not the last 2, but the 2 matches that she has been out for.
This has been Spirit Spotlight, an official presentation of the Washington Spirit Radio Network. Listen live every Friday afternoon with Bram Weinstein at 3:40 on ESPN 630 in DC and anywhere from the ESPN 630 app.